And hello YouTube vapors, it's Emil here again from Ireland Vape UK. It's been a little while since I've done any reviews, but the team's all jumped on it and we're getting like a load of bits going now, so there's going to be a load of different devices, juicers, maybe the odd disposable, hopefully not, but and we'll see how it goes. But today what I've got for you is this little device here, Caliburn and Ironfist. Here's the packaging. Comes with a 1.2 ohm Caliburn G coil, a G2 coil even, and a 0.8 Caliburn G coil. The box, I've been playing about with this one for a little while, probably just over a week now. And in the actual box,
5 minutes later, 2 hours later.
That's where the device would have been, stuck in there. So you get a USB-C, because it is USB-C charger. Some of the little keep it whatevers. And you get your spare coil. So I've been blasting this now for, like I said, just over a week. And been going pretty well. I started off, because I've tried a few different juices for it, because I wanted to put it through its paces. Started off with the Gold Bar by, I'll put it in the comments. Gold Bar was the flavour though. It was like a real strong caramel flavour, which was tasty. The caramel came through really strong on it. I know it was caramel biscuit. Biscuit was a little bit tame on it, but a lot of sweetness in the juice. And then since then I've been blasting some new nasty lemon and lime, so some really sweet flavoured juices. You also get like some instructions in your box as well, some kind of like warranty little pamphlet things, little box to keep all your instructions and what have you in. A little dive down onto the actual device. Really well made, relatively heavy. You've got a little space here for your lanyard. On the side here, it's USB-C on the bottom, and your airflow adjustment on the actual bottom as well. You've got Caliburn actually written on the bottom, and then Ironfist, which I like this bit. I know it's very small, but it's kind of indented into it. See, probably indented, probably the wrong word, but it's like you can hear it on the. So I like that. It kind of feels nice, feels quality. And on the side you've got like so basically you can adjust the voltage. So if you click the button once, you get 1 light. You click it again, 2, and up to 3, which is full power. And then obviously depending on what coil you've got in it, you get a nice blast off. It's always like on a full power. And it's like a restrictive lung hit basically at that, because I've got the airflow pretty much wide open. But you can actually vape it as well with the airflow shut off. So if I completely shut it off, you get a real like mouth to lung vape there. Nice and smooth. As I said, flavour's pretty good. This is a little pod that comes in with it. And the thing I've been really like, well, semi-shocked on it to an extent, is even though this isn't like a normal like dash away pod, you actually change the coil in it, I've had not even a little bit of condensation around the bottom, which is like, that's after a week's worth of use and pretty heavy use. Charging it maybe 2, the odd day 3 times a day when I've really been going through it. It has only got a 690 mAh battery, but I haven't really noticed it as much. Do you know what I mean? I've been like going through how many tanks of juice a day? Probably 3-4 tanks a day, and obviously between 2 and 3 charges a day, so it's not been the end of the world. It's pretty fast charging, like within the hour it's fully charged. Indicators on the lights, when you pull on it, like it is on green now, that will end up going down to blue, 2 bars, and then like it's quite short from when you've been on 2 blue bars for a little while, it'll go down to 1 red bar and it pretty goes dead straight away after that. So I wish there was a little bit of time difference, like the green stays there quite a long time, blue quite a long, but as soon as it gets to red, not much time left at all. Yeah, so that's like airflow fully shut off. Let's try it halfway through, or let's try a quarter first. After using it for the week and using those heavily sweetened juices as well, on the pulls ever so often I'm getting like the odd little bit of a gurgling sound. Not much, but like if I take a 3, 4, maybe 5 second pull on it, I think I've got a 10-second like shut off on the pull as well. So if you have like a real, I think it's 8 seconds actually, sorry. 8 seconds worth of a pull, it will shut off, so you can't have that long a pull on it. Let's change the coil for you while I'm here. There is a bit of juice in there, so I haven't done this yet. It's the first time I've changed the coil on one of these. So like the Caliburn G coils as well have been really popular for a long time. Good longevity on them. Chuck that old one in there, still going. You have got a little flat edge on the coil there, and then it's rounded off. This is the 1.2. And on the device, you have got like a little flat edge there, so you kind of just line it up with that. You've got O-rings around the edges. Plonk it in. And let that juice start sitting. You can see the bubbles coming in as it's saturating the cotton. Let's fill it up a little bit more. And the only thing, when you ever do get any juice in there, so I do like try and fill it up to the max, is when you put this little flap. I haven't had any issues getting the flap up. Oh, it hasn't done it that much this time, but sometimes you get the odd little bit of juice as it as you push the flap back, a little bit just squirts out the edges and you kind of have to wipe it, but that time there was literally nothing. So I'll let that sit there for a few more minutes. The other thing, when you're actually putting these devices into when you're putting these pods actually into the device, you've got like a little catch there, and then like you can see where the catch part is on the top of the device there, and that kind of just slides in and plonks into there. And the 690 mAh battery, like I said, it's not the best. Like there are obviously with devices this kind of size, you could potentially, especially with the weight of it, you could potentially think, yeah, it should have a bigger battery, but it hasn't been a problem, and it feels nice. Like it's a different shape, obviously because of the actual pod sitting slightly out of the actual device, kind of rounded, and you got the flat edge. You kind of do have a little bit of, I like things to, little fiddle kind of bits, fidget kind of things. I end up playing it with it like a little gun ever so often. But yeah, it's an enjoyable device all round, and the smoothness of the airflow and the adjustment on the airflow is good. It's really good. Longevity again, like I didn't expect it with the mixture of the juicers, and probably after about, I'd say half of a tank's worth. After about half of a tank's worth on the actual device, after changing the juice, the other flavour fully starts coming through. Like to start with, I was getting like caramel mixed with the lemon and lime, but now after I've gone through a few more tanks of this lemon and lime, it's coming through, and the sweetness hasn't damaged it, nothing like that. Settings, let's have a quick look while I just wait for that coil to wick up. So on the actual voltage indicator, yeah, so I'm done. So you've got 3.2 volts, 3.4 volts and 3.6 volts. So obviously 3 bars being 3.6, 2 being 3.4 and 1 being 3.2. Battery indicators, so this might correspond with what I said earlier. 3 green indicators, so 3 greens is 60% or over. 2 blue indicators, battery level between 30% and 60%. And when it gets into the red, it's 30% or under. But that 30% does seem to drain a lot quicker than the other 2 variants. But yeah, as I said, like charging pretty damn quick. Let me see if I can speed up this process of the priming. That's a little airflow hole there at the very bottom of the device, and I guess when that's slotted into there, that airflow there just reaches that little hole there. And on the coils, like if you don't know the Caliburn coils, it'll tell you the ohms of the actual coil on there, and it does actually give you a wattage reading as well. So this 1.2, which I haven't used yet, is 9 to 13 watts. And the 0.8, which I was using previously, was 13 to 18. But it's with all these new devices, when you start playing about with the wattage and it's that low, if you can get a semi-lung hit out of it at low wattage, it's doing well. do I give it a go? Is it ready? Let's have a little baby draw and see if it's there. Yeah, flavour's there. Let's see let's try it under low power first. So one push, back down to 1 bar. Yeah, a little bit tamer, cooler vape as well. Let's widen up the airflow and see if I can lung hit it on 1 bar. Yeah, really airy on the 1 bar, very cool vape as well. Get it up to, let's whack it straight up to the 3 bars and see what this 1.2 gives us. Nice flavours, like on point. Like even though I was enjoying that, I couldn't remember obviously changing the flavours, how good it was at the beginning. Flavours there, sweetness is definitely there, a lot of sweetness coming through. Obviously using nasty juice on it. Malaysian liquid's got a lot of flavour, a lot of sweetness with them as well. So yeah, overall view on it, I would say, what could you look at as a negative? Maybe the fact that it changes the coil. But again, you're not throwing away as much plastic. I guess they're going to be slightly cheaper than buying a whole pod as well. And there's no condensation, not even one bit. Even on the well-used coil, there wasn't anything. I can't even class this as a con really. When you do fill it up, you get a little bit of hardly anything. No, you can kind of just go like that and it's gone. I'd say maybe one flaw, but it hasn't been the end of the world for me. Is the fact of you having to pull the pod out and flip that up. But you've got the weight of that, falls on your lap, and you can just flick that up to fill it. Really easy. Holds there, it's quite sturdy, a strong bit of plastic in there. Doesn't look like it's going to be going anywhere. Obviously they've made it a little bit stronger. As I flick that up, you can see what I mean. Flicking it up and pushing it back down on a full tank, you get a little bit of juice there, but just wipe that off, and that literally won't come back until you kind of do what I just did then, or if you're refilling it kind of thing. Maybe another con, 690 mAh battery, but it's still been doing the job what I'd expect from it, and maybe a little bit more. I like the style of device. I like the weight on it. Some people might not like that, but I think it feels substantial. It feels quality. I said little edging on there, just tops it off. There's a few different colours in these. They come in 3 as well. I'll share that on the actual video afterwards as well. I've only got the 1 colour with me today. I haven't tried out the lanyard, but you can imagine it just hanging it there, wherever you want it. But yeah, it's a tasty all-round vape. It's a good little piece of kit. Love the fact it's got the Caliburn G coil, so there's loads of them everywhere as well. Fast charging. If that's the kind of thing, the kind of hand in your hand, how small it is. If you want to have a little shooting gun, give it a blast. Yeah, I haven't really got any big negatives on it. And the positives, it's a good all round mod. But YouTube vapors, peace out, and I'll see you all soon.